All right, we're here. I'm hoping this coffee is gonna revive me. I need a place to put this. Oh my God, what is happening? All right, we've got our coffee table. Just put this here so we don't have any spillage, and it is time for a life update. The last time I filmed this video was actually before I even graduated, and you know, with 2020, a lot can change really fast. I'm sure you guys have experienced this. So I decided it was time for a good old update video because there are a lot of things that I have not addressed. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or a snack or breakfast, and let's get started. I put oat milk in my coffee now, and I feel like a delicatessen barista. I went over to my Instagram and asked you guys to ask me questions, so these are all from you guys, and if you're not following me already, it's just at Kiara Madisen. Go check it out. First question is, am I enjoying my classes, and how am I staying motivated during this time? I am actually currently taking classes. Today is actually my first day of fall term. I really need to check my dashboard or blackboard or whatever. I used to use Canvas at U of O, and now I'm taking classes at Portland Community College. It's a whole different system and everything. This term I'm taking microbiology and lab. Yeah, it's my last prereq for nursing, so I'm really excited to cross that one off the bucket list. I finished taking psychology and nutrition this summer, so I got those two knocked out of the way. This is what I also haven't talked to you guys about. In my last video, I had mentioned that I was going to get EMT certified and use that as my experience to help put on my nursing school application. What I never talked to you guys about is that I actually changed my mind and decided that I wanted to get my CNA license instead of my EMT. I think both are still amazing paths, and honestly, I still would love to do an EMT certification course because I think it definitely fits my personality really well. Becoming a CNA is just so wonderful for the nursing field. Once you have worked at the lowest level of the totem pole, you could say, you actually understand what it's like to be a CNA, which means you can be a better nurse because now you can work with a team full of CNAs and full of different care providers, and you actually understand what their role is and what they're going through as well. I'm hoping to gain that hands-on medical experience. My wonderful friend Kenna was actually a CNA this past summer, telling me all about this special program that actually trains you to become a CNA for free, which is amazing because if you guys didn't know, these certifications can cost $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 sometimes. So I was still going to have to pay $2,000 to get my EMT certification, which was a lot of money. And I thought, hey, there's got to be another option. So when I found this program, I was really excited about it. I went through an interview process and was lucky enough to be selected. I'm getting started in about, what day is it? I'm getting started next Thursday, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to go through a whole CNA training course, gaining all of this knowledge and experience, and then I'll actually go through the process of taking my test. So yes, there's going to be lots of studying this fall term, and yes, there will probably be more study videos, and it'll be really interesting to share with you guys how I'm learning this new information. How am I staying motivated? I think right now my biggest motivation is nursing school and just making sure everything is done the right way. I'm not just taking gen eds, so I understand if you guys are in this position where you're taking classes that maybe you're not very excited about. Something that I've always done is finding that connection for me of why I'm taking this course. So for example, chemistry, yeah, it's not the most enjoyable course to take. However, it opens the door for you to take the next class and the next opportunity that eventually is going to take you down the path that you want to take. Finding some really engaging documentaries or shows that maybe have to do with the career field that you're interested in, that's something that's always motivated me. It has been really helpful to have a lot of my friends also still be in school or starting their grad school right now because we'll all be able to study together, and Katie and I can just have a school day. Tips on how to budget living on your own. So I am going to be making a video all about how much I spend in a week, how I do my budgeting and finances. I just want to go through a couple months of really solidifying my plan so that I can share with you guys the best tips and tricks. But what I will tell you right now that I've been doing is a monthly spending / saving goals. So for example, in September this month, I'm not buying any clothes at all. Sometimes I'll do no drinks. I love having that month deadline because it's one, really doable. You just say no for a month straight, and then two, you can have it back if you want. After that month, you understand next time you see a clothes or next time you're really tempted to get a Starbucks drink when you really don't need one, you know, I can live without this. I've done this for an entire month. It's not that hard. For me, all of my budgeting is formatted in that way. I love to hit my goals, and I love to be motivated by accomplishing something. What are the pros and cons of living alone? Do you miss having a roommate? Dare I say I kind of love it. The only thing that I really hate about living alone is I miss having someone to cook for, because when Taylor and I were living together, I was motivated to make dinner and start it so that she could be fed before dance and we could like enjoy the meal together. But because I have no one else to enjoy the meal with, I'm just like, why am I spending all this money and time buying all those ingredients to make it myself? So that's the one thing I really need to just like get over it and start cooking again for myself, because I do really miss how much I was cooking in the old apartment. So that's a con for sure, but the pro is that it's your space. You can do whatever you want with it. You can keep it clean. It is really fun. You know, I'm so used to spending a lot of time alone, and I love my alone time, that I've been pretty good about like building in social time. Like Katie will come over all the time, and so it doesn't really feel like I have been living alone, because actually, and a lot of you guys were asking this, they're like, is Katie living there with you? Yes, she was living with me during the fire evacuation situation, so I'll talk about that in a sec, but for a whole entire week, I wasn't even living alone here, and it is fun to be so close by to all of my friends. Did I find a couch, and when will I be filming the apartment tour? Here is the couch situation. This is month 2 and I still do not have a couch. Maybe you've seen on my Instagram story that I now have an air mattress in my living room. We've just kind of converted the air mattress into a couch. COVID has really affected the furniture shipping industry. I was talking to my friend the other day, and her family ordered a couch in June and they still haven't gotten it. The couch is ordered and on its way. I think it's not coming for like 3 more weeks, but let me tell you, when this couch comes, I'm gonna be so excited, and it's gonna be really cute, and I cannot wait to show you. I'm getting a couch and like a little breakfast table and chairs, and I'm very excited about it. Once those come, you best believe the apartment tour will be filmed, and I'm trying to finish up, like, I just have a couple little areas that I've kind of been putting off because I really want the furniture to be in before I finish decorating the whole room. Would I ever consider living outside of Oregon? Why or why not? I think you guys probably have guessed by now that I love living in Oregon. I have really no desire to leave, and the more I live here, the happier I am. I love the weather, I love the people, I love the lifestyle, I love that it has everything I need. The mountain's an hour away, the beach is an hour away. I love being close to my family and still getting able to like run errands with my dad like we always do. Yeah, I really don't want to leave. However, with this whole nursing school application process, there's not that many nursing schools in Oregon. In the West Coast, there's actually way more programs on the East Coast and in the Midwest. Now, I'm not applying to any of those because I frankly just don't want to move that far, and let me tell you, I am kind of tired of moving. Like, it's a fun process and I love decorating a new space and everything, but the concept of like not knowing where I'm going to be a year from right now is hard. I love my apartment. I finished decorating my room just how I like it, and I could be leaving in a year. The thing that would make me move basically is nursing school, and depending on which school I get into, I'm gonna just basically have to move there, and that's gonna be my deciding factor because I don't even know if I'm gonna get in. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it would be like a fun adventure, and I'd obviously still find a lot of happiness living in a different place, and all the different states that I'm applying to schools in are states that I would be fine living in. But I think it'll be kind of like a, oh, I've been there, done that, like that was really fun, let me come back to Oregon and raise my family here eventually. Do I have my boating license? Yes, if you follow me on Instagram, I actually just got my boating license. I'm really proud of myself. It's probably one of my proudest accomplishments in 2020 besides graduating college, but I was really proud of getting that boating license because my dad and I put the time in. We practiced all the time, and I do feel like very confident driving the boat. Boating safety is a big deal. Things can go south really quickly, so as much as everyone's like, oh, it's so easy to drive a boat, like there's a lot of precautions and things that are running through my mind. So I take a lot of pride in keeping my friends and I safe. And hopefully this year I can also get my motorcycle license. Mom, if you're watching this, don't freak out. I don't want to be like majorly street bike riding, but my dad has this like really cute motorcycle called the monkey bike, and I want to be able to drive it just around the neighborhood for fun. So stay tuned for maybe like a little motorcycle riding vlog with Doug. This was an interesting question that I've actually never really answered before. Why did I decide to minor in media studies? If you guys didn't know, I have my degree in Human Physiology from the University of Oregon, and I got a minor in media studies. It was my sophomore year. I was having my major crisis about life. Like, I was really unsure if I was going to keep being a human physiology major or if I was going to double major or become a journalism major. So I was kind of dabbling in all these options. So I actually at one point said that I was going to double major and started taking all of the pre-journalism classes. So I had all these things kind of like under my belt, and I was just dabbling in like what made me happy. And at the end of the day, I am really happy I decided not to double major. I probably couldn't have graduated on time. time. And I honestly would have felt like I couldn't put my full effort into one. I ended up deciding to minor in media studies after looking through like a couple different minor options at U of O, and I'm really happy I did. I pretty much took like one media studies class every single term, which I felt was really nice because I was able to keep up my writing skills and really like immerse myself in thinking about media, and it really allowed me to balance my two interests at the same time. Like at that point I really didn't know what I was going to do in my life, if I was going to go into medicine or not, so it's like perfect. We'll just kind of like cater to two interests, and I'll just like let my resume take me wherever with this media thing if that's what I decide to pursue. This question made me laugh, so I just included this one, and someone said Oregon has extreme winters. Any advice for people with seasonal affective disorder? It's funny to me because I've lived in Oregon my whole life, so I'm so used to the winters. Now my mom, who was born and raised in California, both my parents are from California, when they moved up to Oregon they definitely kind of experienced the winter blues. Honestly, Oregon doesn't really have extreme winters. Like if we're really talking about extreme winters, we're talking about Alaska, Chicago, New York, like full on, you know, -6 degrees. Oregon will get to like maybe the 20s. There'll be like our one snowstorm a year where we get a couple inches and everything shuts down because everyone freaks out, and it's honestly very fun. I love our winters. The biggest complaint I think is like the dreariness because it does rain a lot here. So my biggest tip is to get yourself involved in an activity during the winter, whether that's like an indoor volleyball club or a new craft, a hobby. Learn how to ski, people. That is why I am a skier. No, that's not the only reason. I find so much joy in the winter because the rain means there's snow in the mountains, which means better skiing for me, and that's what I love to do. Definitely keep yourself busy. Understand that it's normal to feel down. There are some days where you're like, I just want to see the sunshine, but it does make the sun way more special when it does come out. The next question is, how are the Oregon fires and what was the whole experience like? The fire stories. My best friend Katie Mack, who also has a YouTube channel here, I'm gonna link her up here. I'm gonna link her channel and her video about the whole experience. That shows like a little glimpse of it, and you can definitely hear more about what we went through in that. However, that was just a small sample of what we went through that week. We really were just dealing with crisis after crisis after crisis. We weren't even the hardest affected people. I'm in Portland now, so I'm like just outside the county that was affected, but the entire county, which is where my parents live, where she lived, was on some level of evacuation. She was on the most extreme level of evacuation. We were really scared. It's really hard to explain these feelings until you've gone through them before, but it seems like really nothing else matters. I'll never take for granted driving up to my friend's house ever again. Her property is such a safe space for me and for her, and we've spent so many hours there making memories, so the concept of everything just being completely demolished is terrifying. When you're watching the news and seeing other people and families lose their homes, it is heart-wrenching. Please educate yourself on climate change and proper fire safety and prevention. The reason why these fires were the worst Oregon has ever seen, and honestly the whole entire West Coast has ever seen, was because of these terrible changes in our climate, extreme winds causing huge mass fire growth and spread that was so insane. I never really knew like the importance of just being very diligent when it comes to fire safety and prevention. A fire was started because someone didn't put their campfire out properly. A fire was started because a heater on an RV was too close to some brush. A fire was started because of a loose chain when someone was towing a car. I'm just gonna link an article down below about how to properly put out a campfire because I think it's something everyone needs to know. Every time you see a firefighter, it doesn't matter if it's now fire season, not fire season, or first responder, just smile and wave at them when you're driving by. It literally makes their entire day, and they deserve so much praise and appreciation. That was very rambled, but I feel strongly about it, and please go watch her video because it's very moving and it makes me cry. This was a great question. What are some unanticipated pros and cons of living in my apartment now that I have been here for about 2 months? Some pros that I didn't really anticipate was how much I love the little area that I'm living in. It's very safe and happy. I've compared it to Stars Hollow, and I definitely feel that way. Like driving home is very comforting feeling to me. Some unexpected cons: my fridge opens and like immediately hits the wall, which is kind of annoying. And I have a fan that is motion censored in my bathroom, so every time I even like walk by the bathroom door, the fan will start off. I love having the big windows. I think that honestly is such a game changer for me. The only thing that's annoying is like I have to put my blinds down because I think I forget like how easily people can see in. But other than that, that, like, I'm very happy with my decision. I got so many questions about nursing school, what I'm studying, what I'm doing. A lot of people are confused because they think I'm studying to become a nurse right now, but the answer is no. I actually am applying to nursing school, so it's a whole nother step process. So I am applying for my program to hopefully start in fall 2021, which would be next fall. I'm applying to 9 different programs, which is a lot. 2020 kind of ruined my plans of like how I was going to get my hands-on medical experience, so I don't have a lot on my resume in terms of like specific healthcare experience, which is why I'm a little bit nervous about getting into nursing school. So I am documenting my whole journey, but I'm sorry if it seems like I'm hiding like the schools that I'm applying to right now. For privacy reasons, I don't want to disclose that yet. I will tell you probably eventually. So yes, I'm in the process of applying to schools right now. There was another question that I wrote on this. How is the nursing application process? It's a lot of work. It's literally like me applying to colleges all over again, but just times 4 because it's a lot harder, and these questions are very difficult, very specific, deep questions that take a lot of thought. I'm really lucky to have my mom be helping me with my applications because we need to proofread things like at least 10 times just to get things where we want it. Slow and steady process. I work on it every day for hours, but it's going well, you know. I felt like this weekend we actually got kind of like our game plan for the first school that I'm applying to, which the deadline for that one is October 15th, which is very soon. It's the earliest one. Most of the other ones are due in January, February. So that's the one I'm working on right now, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's one of my top schools. We'll see. I'll keep you updated what happens. It'll be like a whole college reveal, but make it nursing school. This question is something that really needs to be addressed because I probably got over like 25 responses asking me about my dating life, if I have a boyfriend, what's happening. I'm very flattered that you guys really care about my relationship status. I just really want to become friends with guys, and then, you know, and maybe this is an unrealistic expectation, but I really just want to become friends with guys, and then, you know, if we want to have a relationship, then we do or whatever, and that's great. So no, I do not have a boyfriend. I think a lot of you guys are so curious because so many of you guys are in the same exact situation. There's that TikTok where it's like, COVID-19 has delayed my wedding. I wasn't getting married, but it definitely delayed things, and I just feel like that TikTok is exactly how I feel. It already was hard enough trying to talk to guys and like put yourself out there, and now that COVID is a thing, it's just not the time for it. And hopefully if a guy comes along and he's ready to fit into my life, we can get together. If not, I'll be patient. I think I really have been filming for that long. Okay, sorry, that just cut off. Do I have a top choice nursing school? Yes, I actually have 2 top choice nursing schools. I don't think I'm gonna get into either of them, but they're still my top choice, so I'm not gonna tell you, but yes, they're both in the Pacific Northwest. So there's also a lot of questions about how I make my money and if YouTube will be my full-time job, if it is my full-time job. I think that's a very interesting question because people's definition of like what is and what isn't a full-time job is very different. Right now, yes, YouTube is supporting myself, so thank you for watching my videos and my ads so that I can apply to nursing school, because let me tell you, it's very expensive. Am I like one of those YouTubers who's just rolling in the dough? Like, I have so much money, I don't even know what to do with it? Not at all. I would say that that's kind of a myth on YouTube where you think everyone who's at this certain level just makes this huge amount of money. Am I like able to live in this nice apartment, which I'm really grateful to have? Yes, but am I still making smart financial decisions on a daily basis? And am I still going to likely have to take out loans for nursing school? Yes. So that's kind of the situation. So YouTube right now is how I am supporting myself. Obviously, I'm going to nursing school. I'm planning on working as a nurse, obviously, and I will also be planning on working as a CNA once I get my license in about 2 months. So I will actually have 2 incomes at that time. I'll be working as a CNA and also having YouTube, which will be really nice. I forgot to address one more thing about the nursing school, which is kind of a major life update. In my previous life update video, I had talked specifically about only looking at ADN programs because they were very affordable, and I just could not fathom taking out like $100,000 for nursing school. So I since kind of like rethought that. I don't know if an ADN program is exactly right for me. I have a bunch of friends right now, including T1 and a bunch of my sorority sisters, all in accelerated programs, and being able to talk to them about their experience and actually like do the math, it makes a lot more sense for me to get my degree through an accelerated program, because if it takes me 3 years to get my BSN ADN and I have to pay for 3 years of cost of living, let's just say cost of living is like $30,000 a year. I am taking 3 years of still being a student and not having another income at that time. That's $90,000 where I could just go to an accelerated BSN program that's maybe 12 months long. It costs approximately $50,000 and I pay for 1 year of cost of living and I can immediately graduate and start working as a nurse. It makes way more sense for me to get a loan and do that than it does for me to like draw out this process. So yes, I am still applying to 2 ADN programs, but I'm now looking beyond just an ADN program. I'm looking at some accelerated BSN programs. I genuinely don't want to take another gap year, if you will, to apply to nursing school. Like, I want this to be round 1 of me applying, and hopefully I get into one school and I just end up going there. Your mind changes and you think about things differently. I still think that the ADN programs are great options for people. I was just personally picturing myself in the program, and there was a bunch of reasons why I felt like maybe I wouldn't be as happy in a program like that, and that's kind of where I'm headed, and hopefully I'll get into an accelerated program or a program that is at least shorter than 3 years.
Hello, it's Editing Kiara. As usual, all of this nursing stuff is very confusing and hard to process. Basically, there are many different paths to nursing, and if you guys want to learn more about the different paths to nursing, you guys should go check out Nurse Liz's YouTube channel. She talks about a lot of different things and it'll help you get more familiar with these terms, because it's hard when I'm just spitting them out and it's a very personal decision. To clarify, I don't want to be trashing on ADN programs because I think they're great, but the reason why my ADN program was going to take 3 years was because eventually on that 3rd year, I'd be doing my bridge program to graduate with my BSN. And the reason why I need my BSN is because most hospitals in Portland are now requiring every single nurse that works there to have their BSN. Accelerated program kind of gets me in and gets me out. I am applying to accelerated programs, normal BSN programs, which typically take on average around 2 years, and a couple ADN to BSN programs. Sorry, it's really confusing. If you have more specific questions, please comment them down below and I promise I will try to help you guys out. I just wanted to pop in here and say that just to clarify things.
I liked this question a lot. Someone asked me, looking back on my college experience, was it everything that I had hoped for? And the answer to this is yes. I think it's really confusing to a lot of people how nursing school works and my whole nursing journey, because there are programs in the United States where you can get your nursing degree in 4 years and it can be your undergrad degree. You would have just graduated from college and you're a nurse. So everyone's very confused about like, okay, well, why didn't you do that? For me, there was no public schools in Oregon that offer that sort of program, so I would have had to attend a private school, which was a lot of money and also just like not the school environment that I was looking for. I also feel way more prepared to now like jump into nursing school and really absorb all that information and become the best nurse possible. So I'm really glad I was able to participate in a club sport, be in a sorority, go to football games, be with my friends, honestly like accomplish my degree, which I'm very proud of, and I felt like I learned a lot of in-depth information rather than just like getting through my prereqs and jumping straight into the nursing information. I am really happy I decided to go to U of O, even though yes, I am now getting a 2nd undergraduate degree. I'm getting another bachelor's degree in nursing. I don't regret any of it, and neither do my friends. They're going through the same path to nursing as I am. None of my friends regret it. We all are very happy with our decision. Our final question. I really like this question. Someone asks, what am I grateful for in 2020 despite the pandemic? And I think I genuinely have a lot to be grateful for. I'm really grateful and proud, I guess, of my ability to remain sane. I'm so lucky to be surrounded by some amazing family and friends who have made this whole experience actually manageable and fun. I'm really grateful for the memories that I've had this past summer with Katie, being on the boat. It was like the reset that I needed to be able to go into this next stage of my life and be really motivated and hardworking and know that the things that I'm going to go through are not going to be easy. I think I'm definitely like very grateful for the people I have in my life, and I've never been more grateful. Even through long distance relationships and having to FaceTime people to keep up with them, I think it's been amazing to see how our communities have actually come together through having to stay apart. Of all times in the world for this to happen, I felt like 2020 is the year for everyone just to have a wake-up call, to really look introspectively on themselves and see how we can be better people in society. For me personally, I felt like it was a wake-up call year. I've learned so much this year about myself, working with others, and about our society as a whole. I'm excited for 2020 to maybe calm down like just a tad. For the most part, I felt like it's been a decent year of growth and memories. Although it's crazy and weird, that's life. And I feel like you always end up surprising yourself getting through some difficult things that seem impossible, but then you look back and you're like, wow, I did that. Hold on to that pride and that strength, because it'll get you through so many things in your life. That is it for the questions that I'm going to answer today. If there was a burning question that I didn't get to, please comment it down below and I'll try to address it. I hope you guys are doing well. I love you so crazy much. I have tons of really fun, exciting videos coming. I want to do a lot about like the food that I'm eating, and hopefully maybe you guys will inspire me to start cooking again. We'll get on the food videos. I'll be talking a lot about my adventures as a CNA and things that I'm learning, my studying in school, all of that good stuff. Talk to you guys later.
Mama's advice, if you tell me how to like it, we can